Welcome back to our lecture. I want to start talking about some of the software tools that we can leverage to build out software delivery pipelines. And many of these tools are provided by AWS under the AWS Codestar banner. What Codestar is it's really a development environment that allows developers and their teams to write and build and deploy software applications. It consists of a handful of different AWS tools. There's the AWS Cloud 9 software development environment. This is a sort of web-based integrated development environment, an IDE. You can think of it as like a cloud-based text editor that you can use for building out software applications. You can write code in Python or PHP, JavaScript, and many other coding languages. You can build your application code. You can test it in Cloud 9. It has a command line sort of feature that you can use to easily access the AWS API. And if you're working as part of a software development team, you can leverage some of the collaboration features. And along with Cloud 9, there is a platform called CodeCommit, which is kind of like a light version of GitHub. It's a managed Git version control service provided by AWS. It's already enabled in your account, and AWS offers a free tier that certainly would work well for an individual software developer. And it might be suitable for small teams. Like if your organization had a small team of, let's say, less than 5 developers, then CodeCommit would also be a good option. At least the free tier would be a good option. CodeCommit can scale up to very, very large teams and large organizations. But once you start using it with larger teams, then there is a financial cost, which is actually pretty cheap for using CodeCommit. So why do we use GitHub in this course versus CodeCommit? Well, we'll use CodeCommit a little bit in this particular lecture, but for the most part, I leverage GitHub because of the excellent GitHub Classroom environment. It makes it very easy for students in my class to commit their work into repositories created by GitHub Classroom, and those repositories are automatically set up so that I as the instructor have access, and the students, each individual student has access to the repository, and these repositories are also kept private. I'm sure it's possible to set up something in CodeCommit to sort of replicate the functionality of GitHub Classroom, and that might be an exercise that I take on at a later point in time. So why would we want to leverage this sort of managed infrastructure provided by AWS to support our software delivery pipelines? It's perfectly possible and reasonable to build out your own infrastructure to support software delivery. In fact, that's the way we've been really doing things for several decades now. The team I work on, at least at the time this video was recorded, the team I work on maintains its own build infrastructure, EC2 instances, running Jenkins server and Jenkins nodes. Everything has been built by our team. And building out that sort of CI/CD infrastructure can be very challenging. It's expensive, frankly, to install and manage CI servers like Jenkins or Bamboo or other servers. You've got to manage the settings on the CI systems, and there are just literally hundreds and thousands of settings. You can expand the CI systems by installing plugins, and each plugin has its own set of settings. And then you have to like manage all this stuff. You've got to be able to scale the build environment as your teams scale. You've got to think about how do you back up your CI/CD systems? How do you make sure they're secure? Just managing the updates of all the plugins and the CI system itself, it can be really, really challenging. And I know of many organizations that have people that are dedicated full time just to making sure that something like their Jenkins CI system is healthy and running and performant. Well, leveraging AWS tooling allows us to focus on building great software versus having to manage the actual software delivery environment. And AWS can handle many of these software delivery challenges for us by providing us with their tooling.